Hey friends, hope you're having an amazing day today. And I just want to tell you a little story about a lady that emailed me who wanted to sit down and talk to me about possibly, being coached to lose weight, whatever it may be. And I get these emails all the time. Some do it Zoom, some do it with a phone call, some want to meet in person. And it's just based on the individual. So this individual lady just asked, hey, can I meet with you somewhere kind of in a non-disclosed area, and I'm like, sure. So, let's meet at a Starbucks. And anyway, we sat down, and she actually came in and sat down and introduced ourselves. Never met this lady before, and just had this look of fear on her face. And so I sat back and I just said, hey, we're just going to have a conversation here and talk, and whatever you want to talk to me about, completely. It's okay. This is how you feel, whatever it may be. And so she looked at me and she said, I'm terrified. And I said, okay. And I said, like, terrified of a particular situation or ongoing fear? And she said, I'm trapped. I'm caught in a place that I feel like I can't get out of. And this isn't anything new that I've heard in my 3 decades of coaching people who want to lose weight. And I said, what particular is your fear? And so we can talk about it and see what we can do about it. So she reaches in her purse and she pulls out discreetly and slides across to me this. The very popular weight loss drug that everyone thinks is new, but it's been around for 10 years. The shot from the 2 different companies who are the most popular ones anyway, where you take the shot in your stomach and, you lose weight. And I said, okay. I said, how's that work for you? And she said, I've lost 60 pounds. I said, that's amazing. Before she went further, she said, my reasoning to meet with you before we go any further is, I'm sure you frown and look down on people that do that. And that's where I stopped her. And I'm like, I don't frown on any avenue that people use to lose weight, because everyone has a different motivation. Everyone has a different thing that will motivate them. And sometimes learning to eat and work out, the same old thing they've heard forever and ever, just isn't motivating anymore. So I told her, absolutely not. I said, be far from me to judge you on what you felt like you needed at the moment to lose the weight. Number 2 thing she said is she was under the misconception that this burned fat, and that's how she would lose the weight. She said, I wasn't under the impression that it would just not make me hungry, and then I would basically not eat and lose the weight. And it's a very popular misconception. People think this is going to help you burn fat, which some fat burn, whatever. But basically, as you know, you just don't eat. Again, I said, that's okay. I said, still lost 60 pounds. What's your fear? Her biggest fear was, I don't want to do this the rest of my life, but I know when I quit, I'm going to get hungry again and I'm going to eat and put the weight back on. And that's a real fear. And she was terrified because she was in this predicament of, I want out, but I can't get out. And so I asked her, I said, what is it you want from me that I can help you with? Because I do want to help you. And she said, well, so you're not judgmental on this or look at me differently? I said, absolutely not. Whatever brought you to meet me today, I don't care how you got here. I said, the fact is you're here today and you know what I do and you know what I coach. And so you must have an interest in it. And her words were, yes, I want to figure out a way to start eating better and exercising while I've got this 60 pounds off so I don't put it back on, so I can discontinue this weight loss drug, wing off of it, whatever her doctor recommends. And I said, that's nothing new to me. I said, this has been around for 10 years. I said, it's nothing new. It's just now been rebroadcast as the latest thing again. And maybe because it was used for diabetics for so long and now it's okay for the weight loss industry. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The fact is you're here today and I have no judgment on how you got here. But you are very real in being afraid of when you quit this, of putting the weight back on. That's just kind of common sense, okay? Anything like that, and fins coming back around again. Again, all things to help you not eat versus controlling your portion sizes, and that's another story. But her fear was real, and I want to explain something to you. So many people are using this drug right now and not talking about it. They're scared because they feel like they're going to be judged. They're talking about the weight they lost. You see the excitement in their face. They're ecstatic and they're happy. And here's the deal. It motivated them to do something and to lose the weight. And this lady comes with an attitude of, now that I've gotten it off and I'm motivated, I want to start learning to eat better and exercise in a very sustainable way so that I can keep that weight off. And guess what? That's an amazing approach. That's completely acceptable. I think it's great. Will everybody do that? No. But she is of the mindset that she's trapped right now in a situation she got into that she can't get out. And that's real. Because most people, not everyone, and there's no judgment there, most people don't want to be dependent on a, injection to keep their weight off. Maybe they've never been able to lose weight in their entire life. But now they found something and man, this is working, and it does work. But somewhere it sets into some people. The conscience comes up and is like, yeah, but I don't want to do this forever. And it's expensive. I mean, you got to factor that in. Whatever it may be, if you're an individual and you're trapped in a situation, I want you to understand, don't matter who you go to, but there is no judgment. When she put this across the table in a Starbucks, hey, I kind of looked at it. I knew what it was. I read the label. She said, I don't want to do this forever. It's been amazing, but I'm scared to stop because I know I'll put that weight back on. And she says, I don't want to go back to that life either. That's a life too of fear, of always being overweight and never being able to lose it and keep it off. And live that life that most people who struggle with their weight that I've coached for years and years want. So listen, however you lost the weight, even if it's not this, you did some other means, and you're looking for a way out, understand there's people out there that aren't going to judge you about how you made your way to them. That would be me. That's something that won't be talked about. There will be no shaming. There will be no talking down on it and why you shouldn't have done that and all that. Now, if you were to come to me and said, what's your opinion? Yeah, obviously, I'm going to try to steer you in the direction that I've been coaching for 3 decades. Eating foods you like, moderation, workouts, something that works within your life, about you, discovering how it works for you. But if I gave that advice, and the individual went off and said, I'm going to do this, and they came back around later and said, hey, I know you talked to me about this, but I did that. Would you still help me now that I've got the weight off to transition? Absolutely. Everyone has a different way of being motivated. And so I'm kind of at a place where, yeah, if that's what motivated you, whatever they may be, and you got some weight off, which let's call it what it is. Once we lose weight, we're motivated now. Like, okay, now I'm here. What can I do to keep it going and make it a healthy process together? Combining the two and eventually maybe letting go of the one. I don't know. It's different for everybody. But I just wanted to let you know you should not be judged by the way you got motivated to get to where you are today. If it's this or some other means. And if you're looking for a way to transition now into doing it the way you feel like you kind of know it should be, eating healthy, taking care of the body, all that kind of stuff like that, there's people out there that will take you just as you are, and I'm one of them. But I just want to let you know that not everyone's walking around shaming and judging you because of this, and nor should you allow that to happen. If you've got people out there that are in the fitness space and they're like, oh, you shouldn't have ever done that and all that, yeah, I mean, they can have an opinion on what they feel like, you should have done, but, if you come to them seeking help and they're scared to ask for it because they feel like they're going to be judged, it's not right. Okay? Again, it wouldn't be something I would advise because of my background, but that doesn't matter. That's where you went. This is where you are. Now, let's help you transition into staying motivated and making better choices at a slow, sustainable progress, okay? But I just want to let you know, don't let people judge you. Don't let people come down on you, even though they have this opinion. It should not start off the conversation. She was looking for me to sit and immediately say, well, This is why you shouldn't have done that. It's like telling my kid, this is why you shouldn't have made a bad choice, whatever, since you want to label it that. That doesn't solve anything. The choice is made, good or bad. Who's to say it's good or bad? Here's where you are. The most important thing is you're now wanting to approach it from a healthier standpoint with food, exercise, all those things that you already know about. So just wanted to share that with you today, that there's people out there walking around that don't want to talk about this. And if you are one of those people, be okay talking about it. That was your choice. It motivated you, and that's all that matters. Now you're motivated. Take that next step if you're ready and find help on learning to eat better and exercise and keeping that weight off so that when you do decide to, if you do decide to quit using this, you keep the weight off. And then you can move on down and have an amazing life. So, hey, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon.